when everybody go from staying in the same place to having their own things though, man, how did that change as far as just the elevation of the team in general when the money started flowing on top of that?
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing. It was a strange dichotomy for me, you know, because see, I was a part of a duo. So me and P, like when we first met, we clicked like brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My partner that I was with, him and P really kind of didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of faced with this dilemma. You see where it's going, right? So I had to kind of watch. I always maintained the relationship with P.
Yeah.
But I kind of had to watch the success from the sideline.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? You know, even though I achieved my own independent success, you know, that I did, you know, but you know, I had to watch my brother do his thing, you know what I'm saying, while I kind of did mine, but we kept the personal relationship.
Exactly.
And then once we moved back out to LA, you know, we both been in LA I've been 20 years, him a little bit over.
Yeah.
Then that's when we went back to rocking every day like that,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I kind of watched it, you know, and was cheering along. I was cheering along, you know what I'm saying?
What was going through your mind when you had to sit back and watch it because of that crazy nigga in your group?
You know what? I was so happy for my brother, you know what I'm saying? And again, I still kind of rode the wave. You know what I mean? I still, like, I can say this, right? Financially, I still reaped the benefit because I was independent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I maybe didn't get the notoriety, you know, but I still was able to leverage the affiliation.
Exactly.
You know, but again, I always kept the personal relationship. That was always intact.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm still getting game. I'm still getting advice. I'm still, you know what I'm saying? Even some things I was able to do because of the relationship.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You know, them calls was made like, hey, cash him out. You know what I'm saying? Whatever album he got 50,000 pieces, cash him out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it was bittersweet in a sense. You know what I mean?
So what were you doing during that time though, man? While you watching them doing their thing,
Yeah.
I mean, what was Court doing holding it down?
You know, I put out several independent albums back in the 90s,
Okay.
early 2000s. So we put out the CCG albums. We put out, of course, I was Court Dog back then. A lot of people, I was in Murder Dog all the time. I was in Double XL, all that. I stayed in Murder Dog.
Come
you know
on
what I
now.
mean? Shout out to Murder Dog.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I put out several, you know, what some would consider to be, you know, underground independent classics as Court Dog. So, you know, I did my thing.
Yeah.
I you know, I ain't mad at it.
Exactly.
I ain't mad at it. I did my thing, you know, and I also, you know, as a man, I stood up. I stood on my own.
Yeah.
You know, I always had my own money, my own vision. And then I started getting into other arenas of business, and I excelled in that as well, and other arenas of entertainment as well.
Speaking of those other arenas, man, I mean, that Holding Court podcast.
Yeah.
Going crazy out here in these streets.
Yeah.
Talk to me about cranking that thing up, and what have been some of your favorite podcasts so far that you done did, man?
Well, you know, I mean, even before we get there, we talk about how I even got to doing the podcast.
Yeah.
You know, P and I, well, it was me, P, Jay Tweezy, and Juggy. We had a show called Doing the Most on Playboy Radio about 5 years ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That was my first time, you know, being exposed to radio. You know what I'm saying? And it was Jay Tweezy that told me. He pulled me to the side and said, Court, you kind of good at this.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, yeah, you good at this. And so that kind of, it was a little curiosity, you know. So some years passed. And so during the quarantine, to be honest, well, I would go live on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people would always kind of hang on to my words of encouragement and my advice and, you know, sharing knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And, you know, people just like to hear me talk and like my personality. So my supporters and my fans would kind of push me to do that. So during the quarantine, I started watching podcasts. We all sitting still, you know what I mean? So I was watching you.
Yeah.
I watched you. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. You know, salute to you. You inspired me to jump off the porch with the podcast thing.
Come on with it.
Gangster Chronicles. Shout out to Steele over there. That's my partner. and Drink Champs,
yes, sir.
Of course Vlad TV. So I'm watching all this different content, and it just I was like, yeah, I should try my hand at this, And my partner, producer Ken, who I produce, who's my co-producer, that's my partner, my homeboy. We done other productions together, and he's the one that helped bring the visual to fruition, because that's what he works in, So we had the whole set built up, we shoot on a sound stage, the 3K with the whole production thing. We treated it like a TV show.
Yeah.
And so when I started booking guests, a lot of the guests that I had was low-hanging fruit. I've been in Hollywood and in the game a long time. So, when your face card is good and your reputation, your name is solid, people will show up for you.
That's right.
When you operate with integrity.
Thanks.
So, so having, Michael Jai White come through, Chico, Silk the Shocker, these are people that I called and they like, come on. They was like, yeah, when you want me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I would say some of my most memorable, I would have to say, because my bucket list, man, I was blessed, bro. I started with my bucket list. I started with it.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So having Ice-T, having the OG Ice-T ingratiate me and support me, you know what I'm saying? And give a phenomenal interview, and not only that, to support it and promote it and post it, and stand on it.
Yeah.
Jay Prince, shout out to old man, over at Rap A Lot, he showed up for me. Those were my main two, and I say memorable. I would have to say those are the most memorable.
When Ice-T hits for $1 million, though, I mean, what went through your mind? You like, nigga, I done hit $1 million in a bit.
Hey, nigga, I was, I felt like I had arrived with that little million.
Come
you know
on,
what I'm saying?
man, come on.
Because one thing about me, man, is I set really high goals, and Pete tells me this all the time, and my old lady tells me this as well. Like, I'm super hard on myself. We all are. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I don't fuck with mediocrity. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm watching and I'm looking at people like Vlad and somebody, I'm looking at Nori and $1 million worth of game, I'm like, damn,
I got some work to do.
I got some work to do. You know what I mean? But then also I understand that, comparison is the thief of joy. You know what I'm saying?
Don't let it steal it. Don't let it steal it.
Comparison is the thief of joy, and you have to kind of, walking your truth and your purpose, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and understand that some of these people have years ahead of you as well.
Yeah.
So I had to remind myself that,
and distribution.
And they they're in the system. They have a machine, and it was something I just started. And so but I've been enjoying it so much, bro. That's why I tell people, like, I'm always gracious when people see me out in public and they recognize me from the podcast because the content resonates. You know what I'm saying? But it resonates because, it's in my purpose. It's something I'm not doing for money. Exactly. It's something that I actually enjoy doing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I be telling you got to be a purpose chaser, not a paper chaser.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Jay Prince, being able to pick his brain. What was that like, being able to say, okay, I'm about to sit down with Jay Prince and get the game directly from the Godfather?
Yeah, real shit. That was an honor, brother.
Yeah.
That was an honor. I mean, to be, received by Jay Prince, because, he's not going to show up for everybody.
That's
true.
know
that. You know what I'm saying? and to be able to, he answered my questions. And, Jay is very intentional.
Yeah.
and collected when he speaks. You know what I'm saying? But also, more importantly, I want to get stuff that hadn't been talked about, so I go into these things. I really don't consider them necessarily interviews, but more so conversations. You know what I'm saying? Dialogues. So I wanted to, it was questions I even wanted to ask just from when I was a kid.
Come on.
Because I told him, I said, bro, I've been watching you since I was a kid.
Exactly.
I would see your name when you was James Smith. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you was James Smith on the back of the CDs, and I would hear your voice, and it was something about him that I was like, damn, dude is like an enigma. I wanted to know more. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So for him to embrace me, you know what I'm saying, and really, just give me game. He dropped some jewels.
Come on.
Saying some quotables too.
Facts. Being around Bars and P.
Yeah.
What was it that you learned about teamwork that made the dream work, man? Because one thing about P, we know that he's the face and he's the man, but also when you got bars in your corner, beats by the pound in your corner, and everybody in the tank on your corner, it's gonna be kind of hard to lose with that crew that's really behind you. So can you speak to me about the teamwork that you witnessed over there and how important that is as far as the trajectory of anybody's success?
Yep, it's knowing your role. Everybody playing a position.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Knowing your role and everybody playing a position. That's the most important thing. You know, No Limit is, I can be honest with you, it's almost ran like a military, somewhat. You know, understanding that P is the boss. You know what I'm saying? P is the colonel.
That's
straight
right.
up. Like, you can give your opinion, you can suggest stuff. That's always welcome. But at the end of the day, he's going to make the decision. And you know, he has the, you know, P always, like I would tell people sometime, you know, sometimes you may think that things don't make sense, you know what I'm saying, or why he's doing certain things, but he has all the information. A broader view. He has a broader view. Come on. Exactly. His vantage point is different than yours.
Exactly.
So that's why, just go with it. That's where the trust comes in. Play your position. See, you trying to do too much. You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
Yeah, you overthinking. That's above your pay grade. You know what I'm saying? So do what you supposed to be doing and let him do what he's supposed to be doing. So I think just understanding, you know, play your position, bro. That's with anything, man. You know, and again, have integrity. You know, No Limit for me has always been about brotherhood too. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that wore that tank, whether we speak or not, or whether they're old artists, whether they're disgruntled artists or whatever, you know, it's still a brotherhood. You had that tank, I still look at you as a brother. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.